What's up, fellow gamers? Welcome back to Let's Play Seven Nights Flashpoint. We've got a brand new map for you in today's episode. It's called the Rooftop Hoverport. Came out yesterday for me. Managed to get pretty lucky in rolling the map, and so it's here. We are doing, of course, a infiltrate and download for files. We're running it for gold stack, so he'll pay pretty well. And we get one favor, which doesn't really matter if we get a bunch of kills. One thing I do want to note is I realized the game was getting too easy, and so even though the difficulty is capped out, you can't buff monsters by more than this. They're already power level 10. This is the max their slider goes, even though my resists are all 0%, all that kind of stuff. I can't make missions any harder than they currently are once we're in the mission itself. And so I realized that savagery is just kind of incredibly overpowered, and so I decided I was going to unspec that for my two characters. So trying to go harder into the gunslinger talents. They're obviously not as strong. I'm still doing the AoE crit vulnerability marker sites because we're already there. But instead of going for Iron Grip, which is 20% ballistic cure damage and functionally no recoil for the rest of the turn, and it's, you know, right there at the start, so it costs 4 points to get the entire thing. I decided I would go for investment into trigger vector instead. I chose to not grab the final upgrade, which is 2 talent points for -1 AP cost. I think it's probably not worth getting that. You can generally get more value than like 0.17 action points per turn per point. It's decent, don't get me wrong, but I thought I could at least try to find something slightly better. Maybe that's not the right way to think about it, but there are stronger talents than, like, if you had a bunch of talent points that were like gain 0.2 AP, you could find better talents than that, but it would be top half for sure. Anyway, what it comes down to is I'm still capping coordinated charge. Again, I took the marker site stuff. I went for recoup because ultimately I have crit chance through marker sites. I wanted to go into called shot, so I've got some crit chance through called shot here. Link watch is going to be useless because I have an AR and a submachine gun, so I literally can't use his ability. I've got flush just as a travel talent instead. And then again, I thought I had enough crit chance that recoup is going to be useful. Gunsmoke drift is simply a passive. It's probably not going to matter for me at all, but it is at least there. Nothing new on the Cyber Knight, pretty normal stuff here. I did decide to go moderate investment into pre-computed advantage, so I've got plus 1 initiative, 1 move point, 2 charges. I don't think it's still all that strong, but I then started going into minus armor for atomic stutter. The understudy hacker, Dade's sister, is here. She's, of course, less powerful. I don't have the 3rd charge of Null Op. I don't have the 2nd charge or the 4 tokens on Scapegoat. I don't even have any points at all on Trunk Patch, so she is a weaker hacker. Thankfully, this map is an orange matrix host, so it's not going to be too bad. But I'm still going to have to use quite a lot of Rewind to be good here. Otherwise, it's the same cyber deck. You can move it over. She has the same implants, so not going to be a huge issue there. And then for my sniper, again, similar thing. I went to go unlearn Savagery. I've still got JTAC Strike Zone. Those are the best sniper talents. I went for Recoup because, again, with JTAC Strike Zone and Marker Sites, we're going to have plenty of crit chance to get the action points back. I did not have the ability to get the final point here. So, you know, kind of missing that one, but oh well. Decided to just simply grab a 2nd player for coordinated charge. This might have been incorrect, but I decided I wanted to try a team with perma coordinated charge, see how it felt, because I haven't done that in quite a while. And since everyone's pretty high level, you know, 22 or so, you've got kind of a lot to spare, and so just going to try that out. Anyway, as mentioned, we are on the Rooftop Hoverport, so first time for me seeing this map. The two matrix hosts are very close together, which is kind of nice. I'm going to guess that the exit's going to be around here, maybe there. I could see these being the exits most likely. We've got, let's see, loot box 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Those 2 things there. Grabbing this box is kind of out of the way. I'm probably going to send my primary force up this direction. And then once we're kind of on this host, start moving over, kind of move down, like grab this, and then my hacker's going to move here. C is going to stay towards the middle to put the rewind in, go here. One of these characters is going to be able to grab this box, no problem, then come back, and then we're going to get out. I'm guessing by like turn 7, we're fully evacuating. And also, it's kind of like the Sector 1 interchange, where it's kind of a small, relatively open map. I think these tend to favor the player in stealth missions because we have really easy line of sight onto the bad guys. There's still enough things like this where this counts as cover, this counts as cover, right? This all counts as cover, so it's very easy for me to not get seen. Oh, this thing is in the floor. I should report that. That one's fine, but this one got moved. Okay. Camera is in the floor. I'm sure they'll fix that next patch. I'll bet you they've already had bug reports here, but it's worth including that, you know, they missed one thing as they're making it. Wait for this to report in the top right, and they'll move on. There we go. All right, otherwise, looks pretty cool. Looks pretty fun. Yeah, that's not pathable. Cool stuff overall. I find the skybox is kind of nice. I find this kind of enjoyable. All right, so plan is throw out a coordinated charge. Plan is drop trigger vector here as well. It's gonna be the primary buff. 25% ballistic pure damage upgrade for this and next turn. 2 move points for this and next turn. Keep in mind I have a coordinated charge on as well. So I have 3 move points and ignore all recoil and 25% ballistic pure damage upgrade for this and all of next turn, as long as I don't miss or I don't get hit. I've also got, again, limited called shot, crit chance, and crit damage. I will keep putting points here. You can get at, I think you can get a second charge. You can at least get some cooldown reduction and get the crit chance up to 50% with enough investment. Again, flush is just a travel node here. But I'm going to wait until I can get all the other buffs down. So here's Tactical Surge. And then I realized that the way it's going to get sort of paced out, I'm not going to have the ability to use JTAC very well. Let's see, actually. You're going to 18. Yeah, I'm not really going to get to do this, so I'm just going to go for it. We're just going to go and try to deal combat. So let me try to get somewhere where I've got line of sight on 2. Looks like it's going to be that. I'm going to run for as many kills as possible, actually, while having to dodge this camera at least, which means we're going to shoot from across the way. Let's see. Yeah, from here we can shoot, so... Oh, the range is going to be kind of tough. Okay. Well, I think, yeah, run to here and then do my best to shoot. And then if it doesn't go as well as I want, have someone recover at the end. I think that's going to be reasonable. So there might be like one more guard out here, but we know most of all the guard spawns. So not good enough cover for you. Crit chance 40% means I'm likely to crit one of these shots, which means it's going to be one-shot kill. Didn't crit. That's kind of unlucky. Second charge is going to be just fine, though, I'm pretty sure. Coin flip to hit, very likely to succeed. With, 3 shots at it. We indeed got what we wanted. So there is downer on the squad. There's actually 2 over there. Good to know. A little bit of damage. I guess we'll just shoot it out for free. There's not really anything else to wait for. There you go. Bit of damage. Cool. That might have been a glancing hit, but then she's going to run over this way and grab the box. That seems reasonable enough. The rest of the team's going to go for combat, of course. We're going to have you... I'm going to do a full delay here. I think it'll be okay. We're going to try to go for real combat here. Again, I do have recoup, I just don't have savagery. So let's see. He has all the move points, so like him running for these kills is slightly better overall. As long as I think my sniper can kill the rest, which I'm actually not sure is going to be true. So I'm probably getting a bunch of escalation here. Here, I'm going to do I have another yield? I don't. Okay. I was going to have my sniper take these kills and then have my soldier kind of figure out the rest, but that's not really possible. You're hard to shoot because you're behind some cover there. I can go all the way over there and shoot a couple of these guys. It's not amazing. I'm trying to get a good line of sight on this guy. It's kind of ugly. If I go here, it's going to be reasonable. I get seen by the camera. I get to shoot 2 people. I'm going to be really relying on recoup for this to go well, which honestly I'm pretty sure it will. So YOLO. I can shoot these 2 guys as well. So we're just going to go kind of silly here. Okay, there were even more guards than I thought. That's not exactly ideal. Nice, but yeah, I have called shot here for the crit chance. I can go full auto. This is likely to go pretty well. We'll see if I get 3 kills or not. Okay, crit one of them. That's at least recoup coming in. You're going to be impossible to shoot from how far away you are. That's not going to be realistic, but I do have +1 move point, so I'm going to go to like here. Should give me these 2, no problem. Yeah, that's going to be the spot, I think. Okay, that's decent. I'm just outside of vision cone, which is kind of funny to me. That'll be a kill, no problem. Yep. Wow, I still do 1,000 damage just due to the fact that I've got a bunch of pure damage upgrade from trigger vector. It's pretty good. 3 AP left, so I guess we'll just take these guys down. I can't really reach this guy, so we'll just take these kills. We're still going to get a ton of tally because this guy's going to report gunfire every single time. We don't really have a way around that. Savagery would still be more damage because it would give me crit chance the entire time, but I'm not really going to complain. This was clearly pretty solid. So that was decent. We lose a little bit of tally. You're going to have... There's like no way you kill this guy. Also, JTAC would have been pretty good here, and I didn't do it. I could just go for the fight anyway. He's very, very unlikely to die. If I go here... I mean, I have a chance of getting the kill from there. 600 health is a lot of health. That's kind of unlikely. I can still try. Raze will get to go first. I don't know. What's the best kill to go for? This guy's going to be very impossible to kill. This one's at least remotely possible. And they have downer on and whatnot. But no, I think the correct play is try to go for this kill. I can't get line of sight with 4 AP, unfortunately. Yeah, I can't shoot over that ledge. Yeah, it's not going to be possible. So best I can do... I guess best I can do is run over here and hope I crit. If I crit, I get recoup, and then it's playable. I think that's the actual option here. So run all the way over here. I'm going to be within min range. Will be a little bit crappy, but we'll see how it goes. Because I want to one-shot you, I'm just going to throw it on strike zone. I'm going to go ahead and J-tack more like around here. I'm going to go ahead and marker sights you for... I don't need the XP though, do I? No, I do not. Okay, we're just going to Iron Grip for the damage then. And then my crit chance should be like 60% or so. 71, it's pretty close. Likely one-shots then. But it's very unlikely I can get into range for another shot afterwards. Okay, a crit didn't kill, but it was enough for recoup. You have like 1 HP. Okay, I'm going to pistol then. Oh, right, I couldn't even get 3 AP anyway because I don't have maxed out recoup. Which means the correct play is actually to run down to 1 AP. As long as it guarantees the kill, but I'm sure it will. Make some progress. 1 AP left. Pistol shot. Down you go. See you, nerd. Still plenty of tally. All from this guy reporting gunfire, basically. Yeah, so obviously didn't need Savagery to one-shot everybody. I was trying to make it harder, but we got a decent number of only basic enemies, so it wasn't that hard. Still, though, we'll get the 9th kill. We'll get the favor. And it's now hacking time. Being level 23 also just is pretty powerful. Alright, so seen this layout a couple times before. Put all the early game stuff on. I did, by the way, I went and bought Trace Vector 1 since I was noticing that Null Op would occasionally not kill. Null Op occasionally won't do enough damage to one-shot high health active ice, and so I'm trying to figure out like exact IO constraints, but I'm just pretty sure I load both, and I can't reload any of the programs because I'm now out of IO, except for Deception 1. That's maybe incorrect, but whatever, trying something out. Yeah, I'm like pretty limited on active ice here. Anyway, I will go tally, then connection, go there. Yeah, so 3 active. I'm just going to instantly nuke this. So we can see that these have actually pretty low health because it's in orange tier host that belongs to a syndicate, so they just can't have as good of ice. Just the actual cap on how strong their hosts are allowed to be is just lower. So this is just an easy null up. Just get rid of it. Scan forward. I can make progress here. So AP, connection health. I'll save the AP. Gotta go this way. Once again, I'm just going to drop this with the same kind of stuff here. I could actually, I'm going to zero interrupt instead. Because it's a better rewind target here. And I should have enough AP left. Well, let's see. If I load this, I have 16 AP. Which should be enough to walk here, use 2 programs. Like, if I walk, it's 2, and then 4 to leave. That's 12 remaining. This is going to cost 2 plus 4 is 6. So even if one of these is, like, passive ice that says plus 4 AP, I'm still okay. And in fact, this is even more chill, where I can ignore it. And so I'm just going to move forward. And, well, one option, actually, is spend 2 AP disabling it. Puts me to 7. Now I don't have the IO. Yeah, I'm just going to walk here. I'm going to get rewinded, and I'm just going to I'm going to instantly zero interrupt it. And then I'm going to save null op for the CPU the next turn. So I don't know what's here. I don't care what's here. I'll end my turn. I hope... Okay, looks like... Yeah, the initiative roll is good enough that my Cyberknight goes first for this. That's good. We escalate, and it is... Looks like nothing. Nothing is printed out. Camera comes up and sees my people. Is what it is. I need to get into rewind range no matter what. So I have to go back pretty early here. That'll put me pretty cleanly in range. Yep, not, you know, by a lot, actually. That's fine. That seems decent. I won by 1 initiative. Looking kind of close. Yeah, I think it actually is valuable to have your hacker go late in initiative, because hackers can't delay from inside the matrix. Alright, so I'm going to escape. No, I'm not going to scapegoat. I'm going to zero interrupt this stuff, but it's all gone. Scan for the neighbors. Great, take my download. I'm going to take the escalation just to save spoof for now since everything else has already been refreshed. I want this to not be on cooldown for when I start hacking next turn. I don't absolutely need to spike the CPU, but it blocks escalation, so it's worth it for me. So I'm going to go here. I clicked the wrong button because I'm stupid. Okay. Well, I wasted it. I didn't mean to waste it. I almost certainly took some kind of downside. Let's see. Yeah, so minus 15 HP means it was the one that triggers stress, so that's bad for me. Is what it is. Too late now. I will need this to get rid of the rest of the ice here, so let's go over here. Exit, download, damage to Cyberdeck and any action. Okay, whatever. I'll just kill this now. Doesn't matter. Alright, that's file 1. Yeah, we move over. Need passive ice again. Let's go find file 2. Let's see. This is any action relocate. Okay. You go in this order. Download access has to happen, of course. Manifest part 3. And then, what am I attached to? Enough cameras that I care. With 40 AP, I think it's fine. I think this is reasonable. So, yeah, we escalate. It is what it is. I kind of want to go scapegoat nuke here. Actually, you know what? I think it's more... Here's the thing. I'd have to... No, I can get rid of everything, actually. I have all the tools, right? I have active, passive, trap... No, that's fine. Okay. If you load a program, I can ignore that. This can be ignored at least once. So, take you down, take you down, take you down, ignore this. Hack 1. Hack 2. I like they have names. They didn't used to, I don't think. So this is kind of cool that they've named the devices. I think that's actually really sweet. That's a good change. Alright, sets everything down. I've taken the downloads here, so we're able to disconnect. And I can run over and start hacking next turn with not a care in the world. I even have a move point, so I can get closer to it. Pretty positive. Cameras are down, and then this hacks nothing, which is fine. Run towards that. And then she's got most of her talents up, so except for a spoof, which is fine. I'll rewind after she runs through her first round of programs, basically. It's just that rewind has full value and hits everything. So that part's fine. I'm going to let this person move. I can delay down to 11 quite easily. And in fact, what I can do here... Ooh, you know what? Darn, I screwed up. I should have yielded to go down to 17. No, it wouldn't have changed anything. If he yielded to go down to 17, then he could have yielded down to 16. And then I would delay to 7 and then be stuck. He's going to go to 8 and be stuck. It's not really going to change anything. Yeah, if I yield here, it's bad, so it's just a delay. You're stuck where you are. Here's the exit, but we're not going to exit just yet. I'm going to have CK grab these two. I'm going to have my sniper move forward towards this. Turn 3 is coordinated charge for him. We got to make sure his team is relatively well grouped. This is kind of nice. I don't think I've seen this craft before, but everything else looks pretty reasonable. Okay, I can't go too far or I'm out of coordinated charge range. I might just take some AP to reload then. Yeah, like stopping right here and just taking the reload I think is going to be fine. I'm not worried about you running toward me, so I'm just going to spend my action points. Not care about it too much, end my turn. Where you headed? That way. Good for you. You're useless. Got it. Alright, Soldier, you still have Trigger Vector on, so this is going to be good damage. I should grab this box before I go. It's more efficient this way. Let's get rid of latching. Go here. That should magnet. And, alright, this is looking pretty comfortable. Sure. Cool, I can go there and still have the shot, which seems worth it. Lets me have slightly more action points for the rest of this turn, which is good. You're dying in one full auto, most likely. Yep, I crit, so you die. That gives me recoup action points. I'm going to reload just now, because at some point I will need bullets again. Okay, that's fine no matter what. So here's box, what, 2? Of 5. 2 hosts. Cool, alright. Decently solid combat drugs. Escalation. Let's see what we get. Is it reinforcements? Is it not? +1 tally. Alright, well. This map no longer has combat on it. It's free. And I want to point out, as we are in this sort of point in time where the combat is no longer challenging, even with unlearning some stuff. And obviously our guns are good. the thing I wanted to bring up was off camera after the previous episode, I managed to get a limit break for Diego, and so I have Rook Tech level 6. And so there's a couple new weapons that I can show, which is, you know, at least something. I know last episode I went over all the cyberware in the game right now. I haven't capped out Rook Tech yet, but we're on the way, and so I can show what's in that grouping. Alright, so obviously I can't load Spoof right now. It is what it is. We have Scapegoat here. I find this to be a more interesting layout because it's actually like dynamic things here with these two access gates. So I'm going to go up for the CPU to start. That just makes sense to me. I think I don't even need Trace Vector 2 probably, because if it's another orange host, they just don't have the damage for me to care. The health for me to care, rather. And so I don't need to do anything. Nah, these are healthy. Okay. So I guess the other one just rolled really low. These actually have real health bars on them. Either way, tally, then connection. That's going to be relatively difficult, but I guess we'll see. I guess it has a chance to be difficult. Load a program, exit the node. So this is actually super chill. There's only one real bit of ice here. Alright, we're right into this SPU. Well, I have no idea what's in it, so it's immediate null op. I have no choice. We scan. Okay, great. Passive and traps there is going to be relatively easy to deal with, so sure. Use a program steals, load a program. Okay, well, I'm not going to load any programs, not a big deal. There's file 3. And the best I can really do is walk to here, load this, and then next turn I can either force load nuke if I don't get to get null op back up, or I'm just, yeah, I mean, it's either nuke or null op basically, right? And then I can make progress here, clean these out, start walking down, probably get stuffed right around here, and then during turn 3 be done. If I had full charges of null op, I could make more progress, right? Because I still have the AP to run here. Null op this, scan, reveal, walk up here, null op it, scan, reveal. And I'd like be on this node instead of down here, having to use up a bunch of IO on nuke. But, you know, not having it through a battery charge and everything else, you know, slows things down, right? Okay, anyway. Yeah, I can't connect to the CPU, right? I can't end my turn there. I will get dump shocked, so end turn. Permanence's turn. She gets to rewind another turn. There you go. All right, all your stuff is back. Wonderful stuff. And, all right. Similar to before, I'm going to take the reload here. A lot of combat drugs. To be fair, it is actually relatively... So, my understanding, they've said this, and I haven't really paid attention, but it makes sense. The lockbox contents tend to be... or they are... or at least they're intended to be, but they seem to be from actually playing the game out. They're random, but they're based on the faction that you're actually raiding. And so in the case where I'm against a criminal syndicate, there's a lot of combat drugs in the boxes. And you're going to see, okay, these are just, you know, crafting stuff. Hey, we actually got a weapon blueprint. That's a little unexpected here. These files are the ones that I've injected, whatever, so I can't say much about that. But we had two boxes, I think this one and... this one or that one were all full of combat drugs, right? And I believe that's because you're more likely to get combat drugs when you're facing a street faction. I believe that's true. Okay, so everything is down, so I'm gonna go ahead and reload Scapegoat and Spoof. I know I'm going to want to knock down whatever's on the CPU here. I'm unsure if loading Trace Vector is correct here. I want to note that because Decoy is bugged to only last for one turn for the IO and the Cyberdeck armor, I'm back down to 720. If I load Nuke, I'll go back up to 800, which means I can load Nuke exactly twice, and then nothing else, which means any of these nodes have passive ice. I can't clean them, like, efficiently. I think Nuke is still worth it, though, considering we have 1, 2, 3 nodes that have to actually be destroyed to go through, so Nuke is clearly correct. I think for efficiency's sake, I'm actually going to load Trace Vector. That's going to block my second nuke, but I only need to get through 3 nodes. And so Trace Vector makes it efficient for me. You know, I don't need to load nuke a second time. Life gets easier. I'm going to prioritize null op. Scan. Spike that. Great. Run up here. You can see 105 to 140. It is not completely guaranteed to kill, even with Trace Vector 1 and 2. And overclock is on. This will look decent, but it's just not a full guarantee. Great, we didn't get unlucky. That's nice. Spike that gate. save the last nuke for the bottom of the map. We can easily get rid of traps and passives, so no big deal here. Load a program, download, exit the node. Okay, well, we'll do this in the order that matters. Easy stuff here. Scan for neighbors. Okay. Exit the node is what I care about. This is load a program, download, download. Easy enough. Don't load any programs over here. Be careful. Cool. And then I think loading from here is fine. 3 per tally. It's better than going here, moving off, then moving back. It's going to cost me more overall. I need passive for sure. I'm just going to load traps because I know I'm going to have to care. Oh. Oh, right. We never got through this entire thing. Load a program, exit the node, restarts all ice. This actually isn't that bad. So I'm just going to eat this. It's not going to be the end of the world. I'm just going to disarm this, then move forward. Download. A little bit of damage taken. Oh, wait. No. This got disabled. The rest got ignored. Right. Okay. I forgot about that. Okay. So, right. This is chill. We'll take this down, then move on. We've got passive destruction for connection use. That's chill. Move forward. One of everything. That's easy as well. Don't care about that. Download. Cyberdeck on any action. Okay. When you exit, relocate. That's going to be at the end. Got to do that. Okay. Well, I can walk here. I cannot nuke because the AP cost is too high. Damn, that's too bad. Oh well. I guess I sit here then. There's no reason to scan. I'm just gonna nuke anyway. So, I mean, I could null op. I could rewind to the null op. If I had 4 more AP, I could zero interrupt. It wouldn't do anything, but I could do it. I'll use zero interrupt on one of these 2 nodes. One thing I could have done. I wasn't thinking about it. I wasn't planning ahead, but I probably should have done so. Is here, instead of turning off most of the ice, I could have simply zero interrupted instead of using programs. Actually, no. These programs cost 2 plus 2 plus 2 cost 6. This is 10. So it wouldn't have been any faster. In fact, every single node is more AP efficient to use programs on than using zero interrupt. In case you care, if you're saving AP, technically go the program way. Escalation is a different consideration, of course, but anyway. And for now, nothing to do but wait until the escalations matter. Let's just go group up with the team. Sort of near the middle. I think that's fine. I believe we've got all of our boxes, so we'll wait until little sister finishes everything that she's doing. Otherwise, we're good to go. Don't have her whine for a few turns. That's fine. You're hanging out. Just put you up here. I'm going to precast Coordinated Charge. Just so that, like, I don't know if I need it to, like, start another turn. I have it. Okay, there's reinforcements finally. That seems pretty chill. I mean, 3 factors aren't that strong. So, not a big deal. Not too worried. I should kill them, though. So, let's go Trigger Vector. This is also a coordinated, or sorry, tactical surge turn. So, I'm going to do a full delay. Because we might not need to fight, right? We might just one-shot this and get out. I have to nuke because I don't have rewind back. We got it. That's good. Spike the gate. Let's see. Traps will be annoying no matter what, I think. But I have zero interrupt if it's like a really annoying node. This is load a program. Load a program gets fully skippable then. Download access and take. Okay, yep. Definitely annoying. Okay, you're done. Go here. You're annoying. Stop it. I mean, getting moved around is not the end of the world. Take any action. Take any action. These are annoying enough. I'm just going to go ahead and take the zero interrupt here. What would have happened is I get rid of one of them with disarm, and then have to, like, load disarm in its face. This pops. I get a bunch of tally. It's annoying. And instead I can just do this. I can complete the quest. Well done. We got what we came for. Entire formula. Gold stocks will be happy. Total success. Grab the last piece. 30 connection health. Just barely enough. It's fine. We can disconnect. And we can leave. These guys don't matter. We don't need the kills. We've already got our secondary objective. Very, very, very chill. And there's no way I'm going to be light on action points here. We're totally reasonable on this one. Alright, well, pretty quick one. It's a very small map, of course. There's 9 enemies, and, well, I just still have that much damage. Cool mission overall, though. Gonna get some solid money. Total score. We got every part of the valuable file set. Upsell levels up. That's good. She needs to get enough points to get the 3rd charge of Null Op. lot of accounts. Sadly, not many are legendary, so it's like a bit of money, but I'm not getting much influence here. What I'm very happy about though is I got 3 epic weapon mods. So that's 30 influence for Diego, which is pretty great. From out in meat space, looks like none of these going to sell for much, but yeah, you can see that we got drugs in a lot of places, right? We got 2 weapon mods and a gun blueprint, but we got quite a lot of combat drugs. I'm not 100% sure this actually is strongly correlated, but I believe it's true. Either way, we got our kills, we got our favor, and that's all wonderful stuff. Okay, so we've been just putting people through cyber surgery. We'll keep doing that more as time goes on. But I mentioned that I was going to show what comes out of the Rook tech stuff. So, yeah, we'll just drop Origami Joe as one of the sellers. It's a little bit easier to look. So up through about here is the street level stuff. I believe we also have street guns on him. So the Chrome Hawk and the Ironsides are part of street guns. So is the War Dog and the Razor Wire in the Chicago series. But the new stuff came from about here. This is where it started. So the Rook Ultra H8 and the Torch XL were part of Rook Tech Level 4. The Torch, they fixed the bug from a couple episodes ago. This now ends up being one of the better urban assaults in the game. It ends up being, I have my spreadsheet open. Yeah, it's just about tied for first. The Hammerstock, the level 5 craftable urban assault, technically has a little bit more damage per bullet, but not by much. And ultimately, this is a 9-bullet urban assault with okay range. 1623 is like pretty normal for an urban assault. It's got very good damage per bullet, shoots 9 bullets. If you can get 4 people into a full auto cone of an urban assault, congratulations. That's going to be pretty rare. Yeah, you get Rook Tech 4 and you're happy immediately. It's quite good. If you want to compare it to the Bodyguard CQ, I would generally take the Torch XL, to be honest. Yes, I get a 10th bullet. Yes, I get 20 ballistic, but 42 pure times 9 is just better. Okay, 1 meter range, not useless. 3 arc, not useless, but honestly, I would take the pure damage for the strictly better single target damage. Again, until you get 4 targets, you don't need the 10th bullet. And then even then, it still might be more damage, so I take the Torch. But we get the Fire Sweeper. So compared to the Bodyguard, the Fire Sweeper has an 11th bullet, more accuracy, 15% roughly more damage, not bad. A little bit of arc, sure, whatever. Noise, doesn't really matter, it's an assault rifle. Would I buy it over the Torch? Well, plus 2 bullets. 45 damage for 42 pure? No, I would need 4 targets to care. And even with 4 targets, it's close. Accuracy is nice, range is nice, sure. But again, kind of just happy with the Torch in a lot of cases. Other thing that comes in, though, another upgrade to the shotgun. So these guys don't have the double shred. Maybe they're meant to not have double shred. But ultimately, right, you go from the Koso 13 to the Falah loader. And 3 accuracy, 10 ballistic damage. You know, I do like that the range is going up. Like, I personally think shotguns should maybe start at something like 12 range, because I think they're so penalized in so many other cases. Or they make up for the range somehow with, you know, some other kind of mechanic. I'm not sure, but yeah, you're getting 3 accuracy, 2 shred, 10 damage. Is it exciting? Not really. I mean, shotguns just have very poor scaling compared to other guns. I'm glad they gain range. I mean, it's something to actually be, you know, excited about. But I think realistically, right, I'd look at, say, the highest level street shotgun, which is, I guess, the Warthog. I guess it also doesn't have double shred, which is kind of funny. I didn't realize that. I guess none of the street shotguns have it. I just realized it now that it's on the crafted shotguns and the imported shotguns. So if I look at what Origami Joe has, and I'm like, hey, show me shotguns, and please include Joe. And he's got the Ironback XD and the Ironback X2. These have double shred. So like, hey, I get, you know, level 4 imported shotgun or level 6 urban, what is it? Level 6 Rook Tech shotgun. And it's like, okay, well, the Falah has 3 accuracy. I mean, a really solid, like 15% more damage, but half the shred for some range. I mean, if I'm grabbing a shotgun at all, I'm probably just taking the shred and stuff. Now, I will say one thing that's actually kind of nice is this thing comes in with 2 AP to reload. That's actually kind of nice. That's useful, don't get me wrong, right? Both these actually are easy to load, which is cool. That's the special thing of the Rook Tech shotguns, is they are very quick to reload. So, you know, 4 shots, then reload for 2 is, you know, not horrible, right? Most of these you can see, I mean, some of them are 4.2s, right? The early game street shotguns are this way. But then you go for the imported ones, and they're 3 to reload, or, you know, 5 shots in the magazine, which is at least something. But yeah, not getting double armor shred. It means I'd rather have these or the crafted ones, probably. And again, I just don't think shotguns are all that strong, so it is what it is. Regardless, I do want to point out, I forget if it was on camera or not, I crafted the best shotgun in the game. Of course, we did put some stuff on it, right? So we baked in the S driver for 4 max range. We baked in the D grip for 2 max optimal range. Comes a little bit of accuracy there as well. We baked in crit chance. We baked in 3 accuracy and 15 ballistic damage. 50 ballistic damage, not a very big deal for shotgun, obviously. We RNG'd 6 accuracy, and we RNG'd -2 recoil. This is kind of useless. It's going to be single target with the shotgun a lot. Recoil is just not a very big deal. But the end result is, 90 base accuracy. Double armor shred at 79%, meaning I'm shredding 1.6 armor per shot, so I'm very likely to do well. Keep in mind that it is only 2 AP to shoot, so I can likely shoot 2 or 3 times in a turn, which means I'm probably fully shredding my target. My optimal range is 14, max range of 19, with a lot of accuracy, meaning that like at any accuracy buff at all, I'm very accurate at like 19. I'm very accurate at 19 meters, right? If I'm shooting 19 meters at -25 accuracy, I can get that back no problem, right? I'm easily printing 25 accuracy on my team. I mean 35 to be literally perfect here. And okay, sure, I can shoot at 19 meters. Okay, 19 meters is chill. That's actually like a real range that like you actually have gameplay on and is like actually playable. If I can coordinate a charge attack surge my way in, I actually have 3 shots. More likely I have 2. Okay, fine. Well, I have 2 shots at 80% times 2 armor shred. I'm gonna fully shred a lot of my targets here, right? And if I crit, because I'm still running a recoup, okay, I'm actually getting 3 or 4 shots then. Whatever I'm hitting, I'm fully shredding. Now, to be fair, for that amount of action points, if I'm gonna spend 8 AP buffed up shooting somebody, I'm probably just killing them with an Urban Assault or an AR with, whatever Iron Grip or Savagery or Trigger Vector or something on. Like, they're just gonna die. We've seen that, right? Like, the last episode was shooting some mech infantry, and like I screwed up and my like primary soldier or sniper was caught behind the wall, and did it matter? No, they got slammed. It was pretty free. So, there's not like right now I would say a really strong strategic reason for high-end shotguns because other guns can just punch through armor with damage, but we still have one. It allows him to use one of the strongest talents in the game in Nervotox Shell. We're grabbing plus radius. I left 1 point unspent, so I could either choose plus radius or minus armor here. Since Nervotox Shell is an AoE, I can only shred 1 target. I can stun and shred the primary target. I can reduce the armor of everyone else so that if someone else follows up on these stunned guys, well, minus 10 armor is a meaningful damage increase. Good stuff overall. Still love Dissolve, great talent. Still love Brainworm, great talent. Minor bits in these poison talents here, but realistically, they don't really matter too much. Otherwise, I guess I'm not currently crafting, but I have some money, so I was going to, just to like create more varieties of experience. Yeah, I could make this Orbital Assault if I wanted to, and replace one of the assault rifles, but I'm willing to sell this to Diego for influence. Since I've crafted my 1 shotgun, I'm never going to have 2. We can sell this and make some money. It actually, for what it's worth, I do recommend using one of your 2 blueprint uses on an epic or legendary craft, and then sell it. Yeah, the money is the money. It sells for half value. Like, you do get half money. This would sell for 96k if I hadn't used one of the 2 charges here. But the upside is I still get the influence, and I got to have a shotgun. I don't need more than 1 shotgun, so I can sell this. I can get some influence. Cool. I can craft 1 sniper rifle. Am I going to want 2? Probably not. So, what gets to go in here? Well, again, I can use just 1 of them. I could bake on a suppressor. Minus 30 meters of noise is a very meaningful change in, sound radius, considering its sound radius is 64. Its accuracy is, it's accurate to 41 meters. Dropping this to 34, accurate to 41 meters, is pretty playable. Regardless, we only have 1 stock, so let's put on a stock for some crit damage. I could bake in a silencer, or I could like buy a muzzle to put on. Of course, we kind of compare here. It's like, yep, this is clearly a better scope, more accuracy, more crit damage. Recoil is ignorable, so of course we go here. Great. All right, other option then is, do I want to bake on a suppressor? Do I want to bake on crit? Do I want to bake on accuracy, damage? What's correct here? I'm pretty sure the right choice is bake on single shot damage, then bake on crit. We're getting a ton of crit here, but it's worth it. So we bake on some crit. We bake on this thing. Either one, yeah, they're the same thing. So what are we putting on? Well, we're putting on 15 crit, 35 stealth crit. We're baking on another 34 crit. We're baking on another 20 base crit. So 15 plus 34 is about 50. Plus 20, I'm getting plus 70 crit damage. And a weapon that already has 140 crit. So I'm doing plus 210% on crit. I'm doing triple damage on crit. Another 50% on stealth crit. Make that another 85% on stealth crit. Make that another 100% on stealth crit. I'm doing 3.1x on crit. I'm doing 4.2x on stealth crit. Seems good. Accuracy, you know, plus 3 here, plus 5 here. So plus 8 puts me at 74 before buffs. Clearly going to be pretty solid. Also going to be able to roll 2 intrinsics here, right? With my combination of cubes, we're going to roll a scope intrinsic and a body intrinsic. I think if I had a plus damage barrel, I would actually craft it on and drop probably single shot damage. And just never have this thing be silenced. Either way, I'm going to craft this. It's going to cost me $1 million. It's going to only take 12 days, not the end of the world. We're getting money. It's great. Here we go. And then with my second charge of the blueprint, I can sell it to Diego for influence, which would be kind of nice. Just save my progress for no real reason. Yeah, so do we have file sets we can compile? Yeah, actually, that's good. There we go. Take the high quality ones. Seems good. Eventually, we can get another Fight Sims 1 and craft another set. That'll be kind of good. The gang memes, this seems about appropriate. Mint that one as well. Okay, wonderful. Nice. We high-rolled the combat library. Who's going to buy it? And who do I want to get favors from, if anyone? Emmanuel's already capped. I might wait then. Let's see. I already have favors from her, so I'm going to wait till she limit breaks and then sell it back to her. And make the money and try to limit break her to get high-level Milsec items. I'm not going to use them for gameplay, but, you know, I can at least have them in my, you know, available things. That's so I can, like, look and compare and, you know, whatnot. Yeah, so these are going to be held for a little bit, I believe. Yeah, these are going to be held until we're going to give more influence to Emmanuel. We're just going to keep limit breaking her. Blueprints, let's see. Get rid of these. Only show me things that Diego's going to buy. These are currently in use, so it's not going to happen here. We have a blade grip. We have a shotgun barrel. Although I've been using the other shotgun barrel for the range, and do I really want more here? Also, even if I sell these, Diego is 80 influence away from limit breaking. Well, theoretically supposed to be only 60 away, but I had a bug where people who were under 100 influence were not breaking. Something was like, there's like an invisible contact stuck at 90 that was just blocking everyone, so I had to work around that, go to 100. Either way, I can't break him anyway, so there's no point in trying. These can eventually be sold. Chad is already 100% though, so I have to wait till he's done. Taylor's at 100%, wait till she's done. So I guess we're going to play out the timeline for a bit. We've got a Battle Strike eventually going. We can kind of put anyone in that, I guess. We can have this get grabbed as well. Let's just start putting people in for surgery, because why not? You've got Muscle, you've got Display Link. Let's give you the last one that we kind of care about then, which is going to be Accelerator 2. A little bit of stats, a little bit of initiative, seems decent. Here you go. Dr. Ash can do it for less money, so let's do that. Cool. You've got the Core 3, so you're done. You're already in the Detox. You have one to go for, so let's give you the Neural Accelerator. Right, that's the one I want. Yep. Okay, you're doing that now. Great, congratulations. You're in the trainer. Well, I guess we can maybe kick them out of the trainer, because they're not going to train for anything, because we're all busy. Yeah, let's kick them out. Alright, you trained. Congratulations, you gained some XP. I'm proud of you. Keep it up. Yeah, just put people in for some naps and upgrade them. I mean, let's see. When is what due, basically? So you guys are going to be done with whatever you're doing pretty soon. Surgery's due in 9 days with nothing due before then. I think we can just, like, send the entire squad. That'll be fine. But we can always use the field up center to, like, delay things. So let's just put everyone in for surgery. And we'll just see what happens. Yep, surgery you. Have your neural accelerator. He has 6 beds, so it's going to be pretty chill. Oh, I don't have money. Just kidding. I took him out of the trainer, and I literally can't do anything with that. Oh, well. Stress 2 aren't busy. Looks like you. Yep, yeah, you were on the mission. You got pretty hurt, so we'll detox you. You're at 20. I guess you're both at 20. Doesn't matter, not really. Go detox, have fun. Alright, let's go let time tick forward. Counter intel pod, by the way. I can trade tokens for favors. Who do I need favors from? You're at 7. You're at 2. I can buy some more favors from you then. Boxer, I've got 2. That's not a ton. Favors from you guys don't really matter. You have 4. That's enough. You're at 5. You're at 8. I'll put you up 1. I'll leave the heat up because I want to have the head respawn, just because it's content. They're also not strong enough to stop me, so whatever. We've got a Scav Raid. Where's it at? Sure, okay. That's one of the relatively newer maps. That's cool. Surgery done here. There we go. I've got favors, so please give me drugs. There we go. Hacking drugs level 3. All right. Good. What else do you have then? Are you done, by the way? Chad is done. Okay, so he has combat drugs 3. He has hacking drugs 3. He is complete. So let's see what those look like. Right. Show me items. Show me sort by weak and common. Only show me things that Chad sells. Right. Let's start by only showing... Interesting. So the basic aid kit is actually part of combat drugs, which I think is kind of funny. But he doesn't sell demolitions. He doesn't sell high tech. He doesn't sell leverage, of course. So he has combat drugs and hacking drugs, right? So, okay, here's the hacking drugs, right? It starts with turco juice and blue juice. And then B2 juice gets unlocked, and then Tundra juice gets unlocked, or vice versa, I forget. But hacking drugs level 1, 2, 3, something like this. I don't think it's 1, 2, 3, but it might be, and I forgot. Regardless, blue juice is 20 AP, 2 charges or 3 charges. Tundra juice is juice tokens, skip ice reactions, 3 charges. B2 juice is just functionally 4 charges, 2 juice tokens, 2 charges each. And then Tundra juice is 2 juice tokens, 2 charges each. A bit more expensive, right? It's another 4K. But it gives you 30 matrix AP while you're under it. So, you know, you can get flat 60 AP total. This gives you 30 AP while you have tokens, which is probably not going to last you more than 1 turn each, but that's still 60 AP functionally. So it's, you know, strictly better blue juice, essentially, while also being ice ignoring. It's pretty sweet. And then, yeah, turco juice is, you know, slightly weaker than B2 juice or Tundra juice in terms of stopping that stuff going on, right? So otherwise, look at combat drugs and, I guess, medical as well. So you get your basic aid kit. You get hyper V caps, which gives you evasion, initiative, and move points. I mean, this is like pretty decent, right? This is spend 1 AP to use it, lasts for 3 turns. Or I think next 3 turns means literally 4, like this and the next 3. So you spend 1 AP to generate 4 AP. And with 50% move speed, that's probably going to generate you roughly half an AP per turn. So you're generating 6 action points for the cost of 1 and 3K. That's really, really good. You should... This is pretty solid, right? This is pretty much pure upside and happy stuff overall. We look at the cram shot. Cram shot is, I think, not terribly exciting. Again, it's going to last you over several turns. You get some evasion, you get some minus recoil. Initiative is solid. So, like, in terms of like actually dealing damage, make sure you're going first. Like, you're for sure in strict combat, and you need to make sure you're going first relatively soon. This could be like enemy is alerted and you can't kill them this turn because you're melee or they're in good cover or who knows what. And you're like, well, I'm going to cram shot so that I can make sure that next turn I'm going first. You know, on demand for initiative for next turn, pretty useful overall. Caltaxia, much more of a tanky one. Again, spend 1 AP to gain 4 AP, not horrible. 1 initiative is kind of whatever. This is clearly getting shot, okay, fine, right? 25 stress res, 25 wound res, definitely useful. Wounds are the things you have to pay to get rid of. Injury is downtime. So if you're going to take the injury, you might not take stress. You might not take the guaranteed monetary setback of fixing the wound long term. But 50% more, and this is multiplicative, by the way, right? If your armor is at 60, 50% more means you go to 69 armor, which is pretty nice. But it means you need to already be on relatively heavy armor to make this useful. It's not going to turn stealth armor into good armor. It's going to turn heavy armor into being a tank. But okay, this is for heavy armor users. And then the Niz Nitrate Hogabloxen is probably the better damage version of Cram Shot. We can kind of compare the two, right? Cram Shot's down here. Here's Niz Nitrate. 10 recoil. 10% less recoil is really like 3 to 5 accuracy in many cases. It's like not the sickest for damage. This is 15 accuracy. There's just no way this is ever going to do, you know, less than 10% less recoil generation. It's not close. 10 crit chance, obviously very good. 1 initiative, a little bit of fluff, right? 1 initiative is like really going to be hard to feel, but this is a meaningful damage increase. This is deal 20% more damage for 4 turns, including this one, at a cost of 1 AP. Pays for itself. If all you're doing this turn is shooting, and it doesn't make the difference between you shooting full auto twice and not, this will pay for itself literally on turn to use it, and then of course pay for itself in the next 3 turns. And it's still 8K to use. Like, this is not expensive. I mean, I'm getting half money for missions, and they're still paying like 600K. So imagine when you're, either go back 3 power levels to get the same payment on normal, or just pretend you doubled it already. Yeah, this is decent throughput here, and then you can hit yourself for some. Great, 3 meter range. So obviously not I forget which one we... Let's see. Yeah, what did we just get? We just got hacking drugs up, right? Okay. So, yeah, whatever we got, one of those was recent. Okay, so I'm going to hope I get one more limit break then, just so that I can show one more set of gear. As people go through surgery, and I have no money, and I have nothing I can really sell. Actually, that's not true. I can sell a lot of accounts. What was I thinking? I had just turned off the epics and legendaries. Okay. One thing I can also do, actually, haven't done this in a little while, is sell all the items, because I don't care about these. I'm not going to craft them for basically ever. Is an advanced dazzler pretty good? I mean, I guess, right? 20 meter range, 2 charges, 2 turns done. Next 2 turns means this and the next 2, so it's a 3 turns done. The nice thing about item blueprints is they have 5 charges. So you get this blueprint, and you can craft 5 advanced dazzlers, each of which have 2 stuns on them. Now, if you're willing to spend the money on the crafting bench, okay, fine. Keep in mind doing that. It's going to cost me 500k and a little bit in makeup stuff. Also, keep in mind the bench cost is 150, so it's going to cost me 650k to make the bench. It's going to take 9 days downtime plus 6 days downtime, so 15 days. That's not a big deal. That's truly nearly irrelevant. I've certainly got the open workers here. The price tag's not even that bad. Again, 650k. That's a mission. Less than that, because again, I'm playing on half money. Now, would I rather do a weapon mod crafting bench? Maybe. Would I rather do an armor crafting bench and, like, force on, you know, deal 10% more full auto damage? You know, maybe, right? But if we look at, you know, some of the armor blueprints here, right, we can force on, you know, yeah, 4% damage, or 4% accuracy always by crafting this, and it's more armor than I'm currently holding. If I'm going to shoot an urban assault, full auto, I'm getting 4% here and 5% here. Great, I have 9% accuracy in my urban assault. That's a really good damage increase. Some of these are useless, don't have anything on them. 2 crit chance, I mean, meh, it's not super exciting, but it's there. 20 HP, I would ignore that. 20 HP here again. 15 HP, ignore that. Cool, 5 assault rifle accuracy. Cool, great, so I can grab this. I get +3 initiative, that's kind of nice, actually. So I, you know, grab this, I jam this on top, I get 9 accuracy permanently. And no resistance, I get 9 accuracy. I'm down, that sounds sick. 0.2 AP. You can get 0.4 AP in the Cybernite class tree. I have seen a random intrinsic roll of 0.4 action points on an armor, so I believe it is theoretically possible to get permanent 1 AP. If you take this, you craft, you go for a random second intrinsic, and I don't believe they're excluded. I could be wrong. Maybe there's an exclusive pool, and if you have this, you can't roll the random one, but it's potentially possible to get 0.6 AP from your body armor, and then as a Cybernite, take the travel nodes that have 0.1 AP, there's 4 of them, and you can have 7 AP on a Cybernite. It's not really worth doing. I don't think it's actually powerful enough to be worth doing, but, you know, potentially. This one's actually really nice. I would totally use this. I would use this as the feeder blueprint. I would just force the intrinsic on. But 3% full auto damage, 10% crit damage, that's actually quite nice. This is worth, you know, 7% more damage. I'd probably take it over this in a lot of cases. You know, so I could build these, right? I could probably build 4 armor sets that are about as good or slightly better. I mean, plus flat initiative is a, you know, pretty good thing to have. This one's minus, it's a heavy armor, so oh no, wait, wow, it's a light armor with minus initiative. Huh, I didn't even realize. All right, anyway, yeah, this would be a feeder blueprint then. I would never craft a minus armor blueprint on purpose. This one's kind of nice. Again, it comes with okay enough armor for initiative, 5% move speed, and, you know, 5% urban assault accuracy, 5% melee accuracy. Like, yeah, this is pretty playable. I'd have to, like, you know, use different weapons around this, but, you know, go craft the RX-77 Matchmaker and wear this, and you know, jam on anything with a half-decent intrinsic, like 2% crit chances. I mean, kind of mediocre, but you could, you know, throw on anything that does something here. This one for 5%, maybe. Although I probably want it for its base stats as well. Same for here, but you can find something. And yeah, you know, that would let you have some power, so that's an option, right? Again, I don't really care about the damage taken because I don't take any damage, but that's definitely a real possibility. I can sell a lot of these that are just strictly useless. I should probably do that, actually. No one really buys these for, well, the epics that people can buy, but I can sell some of these, like, basic common ones just for nothing, and just get money out of them. I should sort by name. It makes it easier to know which ones are actually useless. So, like, this is, you know... Actually, the funny thing is, this is useful. So, there's one more thing about armor crafting, which is, again, you can get a random secondary intrinsic by either... you get a non-random by throwing something like this, and you just guarantee plus 20 health, or you throw on either 9 gold cubes or you throw on an armor with no intrinsic. And that means you can throw on 7 gold cubes. So like this armor is worth nothing to sell. It's worth 5k. But if I want a random intrinsic on the armor I craft, this saves me 2 gold cubes and allows me to run 2 blue cubes instead to further lower the price of the craft. So, you know, it's a potential choice there. This just being an epic means I can sell it for value. And honestly, like a lot of these, like I'm never going to use the health craft, right? So this actually is only to be sold. It doesn't do anything useful. And I think the ones that are more expensive like this, I don't think I would want to use them as feeder blueprints because why would I bother? So I'd rather just sell them for money. So some of these I'm, you know, pretty willing just to sell for money outright. But then, you know, there's a decent number of intrinsics that I kind of care about. This one I wouldn't use as a feeder, but hey, influence is kind of nice. So it's like we can sell it to, you know, one of these guys. I mean, do I care if Boxer buys more armor blueprints? No, but gold stacks might be, you know, might sell stuff for more money down the line. You know, similar one here, like I'm just going to sell it for money every single time. So here gold stacks have some influence. Similar here, right? Again, I'm not going to use health as the intrinsic, so down that goes, right? So, hey, great. You know, we're getting some influence on gold stacks. We're getting some money. And then we're starting to look at armors that are actually decent. Again, this is what I'm going to sell for just influence and money here. But, you know, we're getting down to a list of armors where, okay, this is a good feeder. This, you know, I care about these intrinsics here and forcing them on. And hey, look, I have 800k again, right? Again, as far as our item blueprints, I'm just going to sell these. Advanced Metacloud. Fat heal for pretty much the entire health bar. Again, you can... Oh, also, some of these output 2 when you blueprint them. So I craft the Metacloud. It gives me 2 items. So I can craft 10 Advanced Metaclouds. That's pretty cool. 18 micro grenades. I get 5 crafts of decent damage here. 3 charges each. Baby Metacloud. Little nano medikit. Anyway, he's getting sold, of course, right? But I have money now, and I can go and do more surgery, which is what I kind of wanted to do, so let's do that. Let's go send people in for surgery. You already got the stuff I care about. You're going for it already. I already gave you a display link, which is all I really need to give you right now. You're also in detox. Let's get you... Oh, wait, what? Oh, he's on legwork, right? I'm silly. Sorry. You need some stuff here. Let's give you some legs. Synth muscle 2. Sure. You don't need anything. You're in detox. You're in surgery. You're ready to train, so I can give you the neural accelerator. All right. Well, my entire team is in surgery, basically. I'm sure that's going to be fine. Nothing could possibly go wrong here. Our boy cleans up. This isn't due for 8 days. I'm going to leave him out so that he can run that. I'm just basically waiting for... There we go. Influence break. Data flood. No, thank you. Medical items. I mean, all you sell is medical items, so this is the only service you have. So medical items level 2. Great. Go to the market. Go show me items. Show me things that Taylor Stryzik sells. And so I think right around here is where it stops. Basically, there's part level 1 and 2 versions of every item. So like Biostitch 1, Biostitch 2. Same name, but you can see that instead of 60 health, it's 30 on level 1 versus level 2. Same for this use feature. 45 for 3 turns instead of 30 for 3 turns. First aid kit is here for 160. Medical kit is here for 160, but it has 2 charges. So that's a little bit stronger there. And then the trauma R kit, I'm certain, is new as well. And heal for 150, yourself or a teammate. 4 meters, you know, yeah, it costs a lot of AP, sure, but it's a full heal and it's a 4 meter range, so that can be more useful than 3 meters here and fewer charges. So, you know, maybe, right? Right, the upgrade is get a second charge, get a third charge. Increase action point cost, but you might need that. Anyway, so there's that part being done. Let's keep saving that my limit breaks have been going well. Actually, before I forget, let's go ahead and sell the cool stuff to Taylor, so I can get her to limit break again. This guy's done. So here you go. You can go up to there. Here's my file sets. Do I need more favors from her? I've got 2. That's enough for now. So I'm going to say screw it. Let's bump your initiative, your influence to 60. Let's bump it now to 80. I've got to find some other thing to sell her at some point to get her all the way higher, but for now it's fine. That's still a siege on offer. Loot the files in the set. Okay, so if people are just recording, yeah, recovering from stuff, nothing too special. Let's bump our legwork chance. Great. if I level this up, I can get more cubes. If you level up to level 5 and then 6 of the Underworld Hub, you can get better and better trades and get you can get like 3 gold cubes for 1 token or like 9 gold cubes for 2 tokens. I guess, or it's like 4 and then 9 or something. And you can like almost run out of gold cubes, so it like kind of matters. Limit break. Okay, I don't care about calculating. I care about your Milsec items being level 3 though. Is the only thing you actually do is sell Milsec items. So what you got for me? Again, what I care about is that they are coming from Emmanuel. Powerful and rare. So initially you get like the Echo Jammer and the Dazzler. I think the Bow Dissolvent's there as well. I could be wrong. Then I think you get the Shock Mine and the Micro Grenades, and then you get the Advanced Dazzler and the Bow Stitch. So Echo Jammer is just basically Jam Kit and an item, 3 charges, 1 AP. Really good range. This is Packet Loss range, and I believe it's the upgraded Jam Kit range, so pretty solid here. Dazzler, just short range, 18 meters, end of next turn, 1 charge, 2 AP. Like, this is fine. It's worth it. It's thankfully, you know, relatively cheap. It's 2k. That's nothing. This is Dissolve in a bucket. 1 AP, 3 charges. Now 10k is actually pretty expensive, but 1 AP, 3 charges is really efficient. I mean, keep in mind, Scourge comes with 3 charges and is 1 AP, and the recharge is like 5 turns. Now that means in a real mission you can probably get a 4th and sometimes a 5th Dissolve, or you drop 10k, don't have to spend 7 talent points on Scourge talents. Or have a Scourge implant, and congratulations. Now you still got to get level 2 Milsec items. I think it's level 2. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's level 1 Milsec. But you've got to like make the contact for Carnivore to do this, or find someone else who sells Milsec items. But pretty cool stuff. Shock Mine is, I think, goated. This is almost certainly requires level 2 of Milsec items, but I think this is just one of the best items in the game. It is quiet. It comes with 2 charges. It has really good range. You can bounce it as a mine/grenade, so you can get a lot more than 16 meters. Again, it's quiet, which is a pretty big deal. You can throw it onto someone's patrol path. If they're going to walk into you, they hit the mine, they get stopped, they end their turn, they don't report. All good stuff there. It's a really, really amazing item, and it's 4k, and that's nothing. If I'm power gaming, I'm running Shock Mines in my entire team forever. This is just so good. Micro Grenades are pretty crap, honestly. 95 kinetic damage sucks. By the time you've got, I assume this probably requires level 3. Maybe it doesn't. Maybe this is still level 2 of Milsec items, but like still, you don't meet this girl until Carnivore, which is like power level. You're not running it to like PL4. Your gear's better than this. Like this is not worth the 2 AP. This is less damage than your full auto assault rifle shoots. Like per bullet, your assault rifle is more than 95 kinetic damage per shot. It's 130 ballistic plus some pure damage probably. This is a waste of action points. Yeah, it can't miss, but it's like way incredibly loud, and it costs you money. And yeah, it gets around cover, but like it's not enough damage to matter. I would just never use these personally. This is how I feel. You can get in situations where your like recoil's really high, they're all at 30 health, and I guess you chuck it in and finish the kills off. But like that's all it's good for, and to me, it's not worth the slot. Advanced Dazzler, is it better than Shock Mine? I'm not sure. We can do the comparison here. Obviously, it costs more. Do I really care about 14k a mission? I mean, a little bit. It'll add up if I have to care about this. But it's two people, right? It's 2 charges. There's both single target. Ranges are basically identical, right? Target them within 20 meters, or just throw it within 16 plus 3. Same thing. Without the bouncing power, so that's, you know, a little bit stronger here. I would honestly just take Shock Mines over Advanced Dazzler. If this is like 1 AP, I would maybe run it instead. But like the duration, I don't think is important enough. I would usually have enough damage to kill them anyway. I don't really need this. But I can see a case where it might matter. You know, maybe. And then, yeah, Biostitch Cloud. So this is kind of nice. 60 meter throw, pretty solid. 5 meter AoE, pretty good. Only 1 charge, but 40 HP this and end of next turn. And the turn after, so it's 120 health. And it's AoE 120 health. It's pretty good. Now, there are, you know, medical grenades that heal more all at 1 turn. But one thing I want to point out is heal over time is really, really good in this game. Because if you take damage, no matter how much damage you take, you will always reset to bleeding out. You can't get 1 shot. And if you get healed at all, you're no longer bleeding out, and you can do it again. Now, you're going to take injuries and wounds, have a lot of downtime, have a lot of stress, things like that. But if you don't get it more than once in a turn, you're going to sit in a Biostitch Cloud, and you're immune to death. So, in cases where that's really happening and it's really grueling, then they'll kind of be your space, but that's a little specific. Regardless, Milsec items is capped out here. Okay, fine. Again, Diego, we are trying to get his Rook prototypes up to level 8. That is the cap here. We cannot give enough influence yet. This Alpha Strike will help, but it'll only be 10 influence. Origami Joe is even harder to get stuff for. Now, thankfully, he's running a submission here. I am probably going to do save loads to make his secondary objective give influence. I'll do that off camera, though. And thankfully, I have a bunch of favors with him. But it's like, yeah, okay, let's hope we don't roll these. But if we can go to Fade Light Blade 6, that's good. I think this one goes to 8 as well. I could be wrong. Obviously, street weapon mods, I don't really care. Military items, I don't really care. I think, actually, street mods are already capped for him. Yeah, street guns, street mods already capped. Do I care about military items? Not that much. But all he's got really is Rook tech left. And for Joe, he's got... I don't care about the armor. This is, again, someone else already has this. Someone already has this. Street mill items, you know, maybe I'll run, but probably just... Honestly, I'll probably just have Diego bump those. So he's going to go Fade Light. I guess if I have stuff to do, I will bump street armor, but whatever. If I could bump him to buy level 6 weapon blueprints, this can sometimes matter as well, so sure. I don't want to waste the influence for it, but yeah, maybe. Regardless, whatever. A lot of my stuff is getting capped out, right? Rook Drip's capped, Potato stuff is capped. Someone else is doing medical items, so trying to, you know, push you to 3, 4, 5. Yeah, alright, well, that's the gear in the game. I will bet that next episode is going to be when there's a new objective type or a new map. Or they move on and remove the block on Daedalus block, or the block on truck job, things like that, when there's new story content. Also, when they add face sometime in, I'm going to guess, early April, I'll probably start a new playthrough with some more restrictions on not using the best talents in the game, unless they've rebalanced them by then, and using face to see how progression feels earlier on. With, you know, just getting stronger limit breaks and just sort of a different approach to the game when you have, you know, different ways of tailoring your advancement. All right, well, that's going to do it for me. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.